right behind him.
You know, Carol, I've got to bring up Craig Mottram. Look at the first position, second position, and then you have Craig Mottram, this tall 6'2" athlete from Australia, and I love the way this guy runs. Tom, we've seen him do some great things in New York at the Millrose games. He's never intimidated by the African athletes, and you know, he said no one told him he was not supposed to win. So he is never intimidated by the African athletes just because of all the accomplishments that they have. He always feels he could be right there with them.
Mottram's in third place behind Bekele and the pace setter Kiptum, with Cheruiyot of Kenya moving up into fourth place. While they continue in the 2-mile run, let's check in with Dwight.
All right, Tom, let's wrap up the long jump. Lots of fouls we saw because of the swirling winds. Panama's Irving Saladino fouled on 5 of his 6 allotted jumps, but he made his 4th round effort a good one. Tie for the longest ever seen here at Hayward Field, and a Prefontaine Classic record, 27 feet 10 1/4 inches. So he will be ready, one would suspect, for Osaka in a couple of months. Tom?
All right, Dwight.
Results coming up. Irving Saladino does win it with a Prefontaine record. Dwight Phillips, the American Olympic champion, in second, and then Brian Johnson, last year's U.S. champion, finishes third. Back to the race, Tom.
Okay, where the pace setters have done their job, and Tariku Bekele has the lead. Buster Mottram on his heels in second place. Then a bit of a gap back to Dathan Ritzenheim, who's taken over third. Tegenkamp is in fourth. Barrios of Mexico has dropped back into fifth, and then Alan Webb.
Well, right now they went through the mile in 4:03, so they are on 8:07 pace, which is faster than the American record. You take a look at Alan Webb back in the pack, hoping to move up, but wow, it's a quick pace, and they have continued to push on.
Bekele of Ethiopia, Mottram of Australia. Then it's back to Ritzenheim and Tegenkamp. After that, Cheruiyot of Kenya.
And Alan Webb just ran by our booth as he makes his way around the turn, and when I looked at his face and his body language, I see pain, and I see I don't have it today.
Well, Bekele, the leader right now, the youngster, is trying to hold off Buster Mottram, who is 6'2". He looks like he's stalking him. This is going to be a great race, because let's see who has the leg turnover as we go into the last lap.
Bekele continues to hold off Mottram. Tegenkamp in third. Ritzenheim is now fourth.
Mottram, the World Cup champion at 3,000 meters last year.
Bekele of Ethiopia won the 5,000 last weekend in New York. Here's the final lap, the bell lap, and Bekele continues to lead it. Mottram moves a closer second. Tegenkamp and Ritzenheim after that.
Now the question is, did Mottram and Bekele set such a blistering pace that Tegenkamp, who is moving on them right now, is going to be able to catch him? He has really closed that gap, and he is really turning it over now, and he might be in the race, but Mottram just made his move.
Craig Mottram takes over. Mottram goes to the front. Bekele's back into second. Tegenkamp is third. Here's the final turn, and Mottram lengthening his stride and pulling away now. Coming to the home straightaway. Buster Mottram leading the way. The fans applauding the finish of this 2-mile effort as Buster Mottram of Australia comes to the line to win the 2 miles with a fist to the crowd.
And he's an Aussie.
Bekele second and Tegenkamp third. And it is an American record, 8:03.50.
And look at Alan Webb, Tom, struggling to get to the finish. Not the performance that he wanted today, especially after that great mile he ran last week in New York. Where is Webb? We won't know until we get to the championships. I'm going to tell you something. Every time Craig Mottram shows up to the track, there's some sort of excitement around this guy because he just loves to compete. I guess he says, if I'm going to come all the way around the world, I'm not going to waste my time with some sort of haphazard performance. He really lays it on the line right there.
And Matt Tegenkamp, Madison, Wisconsin, has set the American record.
And Mottram, he's so tall, and usually the Ethiopians and the Kenyans are around 5'5", 5'6", but here comes this big, tall, lanky Buster Mottram, 6'2" from Australia with a big win.
And Bekele second, and the 6'2" Tegenkamp getting third with the American record. Let's go to Bob.
Yeah, we're both looking up at these numbers. 8:03.50. What you had in mind today?
Wanted to win today, so that was the aim, and I knew I'd have to run pretty quick. 8:03 is quicker than I thought, but I honestly do think 7:58, the world record that Coleman's got, is definitely the only record that's sort of still not easy to get, but it's definitely gettable. And today conditions weren't great, and I reckon I can run under 8 minutes for 2 miles.
You chased a very fast pace. Does it come down to just guts at this point? Just the desire to win, you know, when you're caught up in that quick pace?
That comes down to the size of your balls, really, if you've got enough guts to go with it. And most of the guys today did. I was keeping an eye on the big screen to see who was keeping up and who was dropping off, and I'm always going to go with the pace. That's just the way I run. I try to win the race. If I can't keep up, well, at least I know that I got beaten fair and square, rather than hanging back and trying to run a tactical race. It doesn't always work. So at least I know if I go as hard as I can and run the best I can, I'll be competitive and hard to beat.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
A big one for Mottram. Tom?
All right, you gotta love those Aussies. Mottram, Bekele, and Tegenkamp, 1, 2, 3 in the men's 2-mile run. Alan Webb struggled home in 9th place. And when we come back, we'll